Fridays. Take just 20 seconds to become a business revolutionary by sharing a fan bragging story of great customer service by using the hashtag FanBrag or calling the Fan Bragging hotline at 855-FAN-BRAG. FANBRAG. Now back to Angel and Eric, the Experience Pros.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Thank you for tuning in. Chances are you know someone who has served this great country with honor and respect, dignity, and such, and they may be struggling once coming back home to assimilate back into civilian life with post-traumatic stress disorder.
I know, and it's really tragic when you have a loved one or somebody that you know that is dealing with this, and in the care that they need and the care that is actually being provided by the government and how long they wait. There's just a big crisis going on, which is why we love having our special guest. Our expert today is Jerry Munson. Yes, you are our expert. He specializes in helping veterans get better now. Jerry, welcome to the Experience Pros Radio Show.
Thank you.
Yes, you are the experts. Tell us a little bit about your network and your program, the heart behind helping veterans get better now.
Well, our program is to create a community of wellness practitioners that are willing to discount their prices for veterans and their families. And this is active veterans as well as retired and inactive veterans. And we included their families because, as you know, Eric said, they're coming back with trauma, and that trauma can translate to the family.
Absolutely.
And so we want to help the whole family unit become better.
You said healthcare practitioners. Give me an example of what you mean.
Acupuncturists, trauma specialists, either in the talk therapies, or we have something called Trauma Touch, which is a massage-based trauma release. So we have chiropractors, you name it, even a dietitian.
Nice.
That dances.
She is the dancing dietitian. Right? You've had her here, Ricky Lee. She's awesome.
All right. And now the things that people are dealing with, and I've never suffered from PTSD, so I don't know exactly, but it's my understanding that when people are dealing with trauma, they suffer from a whole host of challenges and obstacles, including panic attacks and distant or disconnected relationships. To address that, if you will.
Well, like you said, they have seen things that the average American will never see in their life.
Right.
You know, they've been in war zones. They've had to do things that, maybe, they're following orders. They've been taught how to be on and hypervigilant for their own safety and the safety of their troops. Well, sometimes when they come back here, that doesn't turn off.
Yeah.
So they're still hyper vigilant. They're coming back with this trauma of what they've seen, what they've dealt with, losses of soldiers, their friends. And so, it's creating depression. It's fear. It's causing them to be very indecisive in relationships and stuff like that.
And this affects the relationship, right? I mean, this can
absolutely
put a wedge between people who genuinely love each other, but have no way of really kind of de-escalating the trauma. But you've got some ideas for people to maybe even do by themselves.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, trauma helps you, it doesn't help, but it causes you to get disconnected from life and society, everything. And, like Experience Pros, it's all about connection.
Yes.
Right.
And so the three things I want to talk about today is just reconnecting with yourself, with others, with your breathing. So I would say one of the things you can do is when you have that trigger, you can just name what's going on in your body. Is it fear? Is it sadness? Is it guilt? Is it, love? Whatever it is that's triggering you and you're having a reaction, instead of avoiding it, sit with it. Try to give it a name.
Right.
What that does is it brings you back to the present. Once you get that trigger, you're back in the war zone. You're back in the situation. Let's get you out of there and just get you to calm down.
And so just by identifying the emotion, it pulls you out.
It pulls you back out.
Naming
Fascinating.
it. Yeah, just naming it.
All right. What's step two?
Step 2, connect with your breathing.
We don't breathe. Then
we don't breathe. We're shallow breathers,
right?
That kind of stuff.
My watch reminds me to breathe, and I just ignore it most of the time.
We don't even think about breathing, but you're talking about being intentional about breathing.
Very intentional. Breathing is life. The deeper you breathe, the more oxygen we get, the better we feel. The hormones are regulated.
Isn't that amazing? Just from breathing. Yeah, those deep breaths. And so, you hear people, talking about taking deep breaths. And when you go to yoga class and there's certain places, and you think, really, where does it really matter? Why does it matter? I mean, what's so bad about shallow breathing, Jerry? I know I know there is.
Yeah.
It's probably,
and most of us are shallow breathers in a normal basis because we're thinking about our jobs. We're thinking about things. But bringing that deep breath in actually calms the body. Again, we need the oxygen to make our brain work, to make us more alert, to oxygenate our muscles. And it controls our emotions.
I'm hoping that as people are listening to you, that they are taking those deep breaths.
Yeah.
If you haven't taken any at all today, this is your chance.
And it's a way just every once in a while to just, maybe breathe in on a count of 3. Release on a count of 3. Just do that every once in a while. And you'll see the tension in your body release. Right. But again, it brings you back to you.
Yep.
So out of that war zone or whatever that trigger is, and now we're here present.
Yes.
All right. Is there a third step?
There is a third step. And a lot of people forget this, but people with trauma forget they can ask for what they need. So if you're with somebody, you can just say, hey, something happened and I need to leave, or I need to be by myself. I need to go for a walk. Or as an example, we had a veteran friend of ours was out with his significant other. A noise triggered him. He started shaking. The significant other just said, what do you need? Not asking him, how do you,
what's wrong?
What's wrong? Or can you tell me what's going on? Right? It was just, let's get you back. What do you need? Which again, lets that person come back and name that.
Could he articulate it? I mean, do we, because I think sometimes we get so anxious and emotional and we're so caught up in something that actually defining it and explaining it, it's almost like there is a disconnect.
There is. Yeah. There is definitely a disconnect, but by training someone to constantly be asking those what questions, what do I need? What am I feeling? And just giving them that tool. Sometimes it's a tool that we all think about all the time, take it for granted. Yeah. They don't, but by teaching these skills, they can go, what's going on? What am I feeling? What do I need?
Yeah.
This is valuable.
Again, it just brings them back.
It really is. We're talking to Jerry Munson of the Body Mechanic Veterans Wellness Network. And Jerry, where do people find more information about these things? Or maybe you've got a giveaway.
Yes, they can go on vetwellnet.com, and on there is a report that has these suggestions plus 3 more.
All right.
That kind of expound on anything like this, and they can receive their free report and hopefully put these into use or share them with somebody going through trauma.
This is very helpful.
Vetwellnet.com, vetwellnet.com. I see so many people who are dealing with this. I had an uncle who was involved in the Vietnam War, and came back, and we didn't have fancy acronyms, PTSD or anything like that back in the day, and we just kind of said, buck up and deal with it, right, and kind of get through. And
they self-medicated in many cases.
They self-medicated. They went off and went into this foggy existence. And it was unbelievably difficult for anyone that loved him. So I think what you're doing is making a difference.
We're hoping so. And we're trying to look at a more natural way of doing these things. Sometimes it's just, here's a pill to help you be happy.
No, this is actually getting to the root and eliminating. I think a lot of times, when we do medication, it just masks what we're dealing with.
Exactly.
The service that you're providing, the Veterans Wellness Network, being able to take care of our veterans after they've taken such good care of us and committed to taking care of their country. that you are bringing providers. Are you adding providers? If somebody is a healthcare provider somewhere in the health and wellness, are you adding providers to your network?
All the time. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Anybody who's interested as a practitioner out there, please go to our website. Get in touch with us. We'll get in touch with you. Absolutely. Yeah, we're looking for all kinds all over the metro area.
There you go, vetwellnet.com. That's vetwellnet.com. And if you'd like to pick up the phone and call, 303-919-6627. Jerry Munson, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate all the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after this.
America's home for positive business talk. You're